kunyongwa hatija ai mani especially ukisonga.
Technology has become a crucial part of our society. Without technological advancements, so much of our everyday lives would be drastically different. As technology develops, it strives to fulfill the changing needs of society. This means that technology exists to help us achieve the things that we wouldn't be able to achieve without it. Take on Tech looks at the advantages and downside of technological innovation in a world that is becoming increasingly dependent on new digital technologies. Every Monday at 10:30 p.m.
February 2025 it is, and it is indeed World Cancer Day. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to KBC Lunchtime News. My name is Njue. On the sign language interpretation, we have Ann Wangeshi. We are keeping this interactive. We are live on all our social media spaces for comments, suggestions, or even where you are watching us from. Now, straight to the news, where we begin on the cancer burden, where a consortium of civil society organizations is demanding immediate action for the government to improve treatment services to cancer survivors offered under the Social Health Authority, SHA. This follows claims by a section of cancer survivors in Nairobi who spoke of their frustrations due to their inability to access life-saving medication. Addressing the media as part of the World Cancer Day commemoration in Nairobi, the cancer survivors lamented that since the transition from NHIF to SHA, funds meant to cater for their medical attention have been slashed from 600,000 shillings to 300,000 shillings per year. The patients also claim that despite paying for medication 6 months in advance, they are not able to access the drugs from public hospitals.
Serikali iko na uwezo wa kusimamia sisi wagonjwa wa saratani kupata dawa. Watu AIDS wanabebelezewa dawa. Hata sisi tunaomba tubebelezewe dawa.
So what's so hard with the government going to camps and asking them to deliver medicines to the hospital? We are frustrated. First, I'm trying to get healthy, but they are messing up with my head. They are messing up with my psyche. They are messing up. I'm psychologically affected.
We urgently call on the government of Kenya and the Social Health Authority to take immediate and decisive action to protect and ensure the continuity of cancer and NCD's services.
Despite government assurances of a seamless transition, numerous patients report being turned away from treatment centers, creating unnecessary financial and healthy burdens. And we have heard that even from the survivors who shared here.
Some cancer survivors expressing their frustrations in regards to the new medical scheme. In other news, the National Police Service began intense security operations in Isiolo and Marsabit counties targeting hideouts used by the Oromo Liberation Army to facilitate its cross-border criminal enterprise. According to police, cases of trafficking, illegal arms and narcotics, and human smuggling are on the rise. Givason Maina has more.
The National Police Service began intense security operation on January 3rd, 2025 within Sololo, Moyale, North Hor, and Merti sub-counties targeting hideouts used by the Oromo Liberation Army, OLA, to facilitate its cross-border criminal enterprise. Notably, The activities of the Oromo Liberation Army include trafficking illegal arms and narcotics, human trafficking, human smuggling, dealing in contraband goods, conducting cross-border incursions, illegal mining, instigating tribal conflicts, and kidnapping for ransom, and pose a serious threat to Kenya's national security. Further, the militia group has taken advantage of close family and cultural ties between the Borana of Kenya and the Oromo of Ethiopia to infiltrate and hide among the population in Marsabit and Isiolo counties, and continue to commit atrocities causing untold suffering to communities living along Kenya-Ethiopia border who have endured intimidation.
In other news, a lobby group in Embu County has defended Public Service Cabinet Secretary Justin Bidan Muturi's sentiments on alleged abductions, calling on the president to establish a commission of inquiry to investigate the matter. Speaking in Embu, the youth under the Good Governance lobby group said Muturi's voiced concerns shared by many Kenyans. On the other hand, Chesumei lawmaker Paul Kibichi Biego has called on Justin Muturi to resign and cease criticizing the government while still serving within the cabinet.
We have victims who have been affected by the abduction. Most of these victims should be supported in terms of psychological, legal, and financial support so that they can be able to rebuild their lives.
We encourage the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service not to resign and not to be sacked by the end of the state. Because whatever he is addressing on behalf of so many Kenyans who are silent, who are voiceless, and whatever is voicing as a leader in this country, as a person who sits in the cabinet, should be listened by the government and action taken.
We call upon you, Justin Muturi, if you are seeing that this government is not working either for the people of Kenya or working for you, then the simple thing is for you to resign. Why are you still in office and then you are criticizing the same government who you are being paid for to do work? You are supposed to be criticizing yourself. So come out very clearly so that we know your stand.
And away from politics, the Lake Victoria South Waterworks Development Agency has launched a program to complete all stalled community water projects. Engineer Paul Agwanda, speaking at the launch of a water project in Nyambija village, Awendo, Migori County, explained that this initiative aims to help the agency reach its goal of 90% water coverage within its service area.
One of the strategies we are currently adopting is that boreholes which had been drilled before by all other development organizations but have not been exploited must be optimized, and that is the first quick gains that we are coming into. We are also ensuring that we reduce the cost of the water by installing solar, because solar is free.
Going to try my level best to continue working closely with the Lake Victoria South people to ensure that whatever has not been done by the county government, we do, so that our people get access to clean and drinking water.
Moving on, the government has embarked on a mission to seal tax evasion loopholes in land transactions to increase revenue. Lands Cabinet Secretary Alice Wahome says all her ministry officers have been sensitized on what needs to be done in order to meet the set revenue targets. Speaking in Thika after an impromptu tour of the lands registry, the CS said all mechanisms have been put in place to repossess land meant for public schools.
The people with the titles for Nyari secondary land should listen to me from Thika, Kiambu, that I'm coming to Mombasa to recover the land belonging to Nyari Secondary School. I'm going to Lavington Primary, and I'm planning for that. we are on the last stages of documentation.
Kenyans are being urged to show compassion and leniency to inmates trying to reintegrate back into society after serving their prison sentences. Busia prison officer in charge, Evelyn Papa, said the inmates face a difficult time trying to lead normal lives as many people look at them as criminals and not as reformed individuals. Evelyn, who spoke at the Busia Law Courts during the court open day, added that many reformed inmates have been resourceful after undergoing various training and mentorship while serving their sentences.
Wanapokuja huko, wanakuja na changamoto mingi. Tunafanya rehabilitation, tunawarekebisha, wanakuwa watu wazuri, na tena jamii inakataa kuwashika mkono. Ni vyema wanapokuja ni watu wenye wako na ujuzi ambao wamesomea pale gerezani, watakuwa tu watu wa muhimu mnaposhika hawa mkono.
Now, the lack of accessible infrastructure such as sign language interpreters and other assistive communication tools continue to be a major obstacle for the deaf community in accessing essential services at hospitals and police stations. Jacob Ireri Mbau, Chief Executive Officer of the Deaf Empowerment Society of Kenya, DESC, says healthcare providers often do not have trained sign language interpreters, making it challenging for deaf patients to report injuries or seek treatment. This issue also extends to law enforcement, where police officers are generally unfamiliar with the unique needs of deaf individuals when filing reports or pursuing legal action.
In this clinic or a hospital for that matter, so that we can learn more when, where, and what to do when this thing happens. Get help. The major challenge is in the area of communication. When the deaf, it happens, maybe they are raped, they go to the hospital. The area of communication, writing becomes a challenge. We don't have interpreters in the hospital, and bringing an interpreter is expensive. Sometimes the service providers use Kiswahili, which is very hard for us. People need to be empowered there in the villages, especially the deaf ladies, because sometimes themselves, they experience GBV. They need to be taught on what they need to do. They need information early. I want the government to advocate more on provision of sign language interpreters.
In education, the scourge of banditry attacks in the northern region of the country has become a persistent challenge, mostly affecting the education sector. During a book donation drive organized by DTB at Loruk Primary School in Baringo County, parents and education stakeholders expressed concern over how schools often become unintended casualties of insecurity, frequently closing as families flee to safer areas. This has severely disrupted education, leaving many children without learning opportunities.
Mambo ya insecurity imeaffect learning katika shule yetu. Idadi ya wanafunzi imerudi chini. Hapo mwanzoni tulikuwa na zaidi ya wanafunzi 350, lakini kwa sasa idadi ya wanafunzi iko chini, imekuja chini ya 200.
Serikali waweze kufanya namna ya kuarrest watoto wadogo wenye wako mambo ya wale wazazi yao ni bandits, warestiwe kupelekwa kwa shule boarding. Ndiposa hawa kizazi kubwa wakigrow hawataweza tena, wamezeeka, hawataweza tena kwenda kuiba watu.
Ningeomba ya kwamba shule iwe ni ya lazima, viongozi waingilie kati na waone ya kwamba katika vijijini na hata community mzima waone ya kwamba watoto wametolewa kwa lazima na wapelekwe shule.
In other news, the county government of Murang'a has launched a new dispensary at Mukoyo Market on the outskirts of Murang'a town in a bid to decongest the county level 5 hospital and bring healthcare services closer to thousands of residents in the region. Speaking during the launch, Governor Irungu Kang'ata noted that his government is committed to enhancing healthcare delivery, adding that the county has successfully established and operationalized a total of 30 new dispensaries, demonstrating a proactive approach to addressing healthcare challenges.
Mukoyo Market is the largest open-air market in the entire county. It has gotten a dispensary, meaning the mechanics, the market women, the people who are around this market can now go and get health care. The county has put best foot forward on matters health, almost 30 new facilities, employing more nurses, more doctors, coming up with telemedicine, Kang'ata Care, and all those are intended to strengthen our health systems.
Hapa tutakuwa na tukimpeana matibabu ya consultations where wale wote wako ni wagonjwa watakuwa wakionekana, na pia tutakuwa tukipeana family planning services, pia antenatal services. Hizo ni services wa mama wajawazito, na pia tutaongezea mambo ya chanjo za watoto.
To a tragedy now where 19 people have been rescued from a gold mine in Museno village, Shinyalu constituency in Kakamega County after a mine collapsed yesterday evening. Another 2 are still stuck in the mine. The operation to rescue the miners stuck in the mine is ongoing. Despite facing several challenges, including the lack of equipment, authorities say there is hope that those trapped will be rescued.
Tuliweza kuelekea mahali hapo na kufika na kukuta kweli kuna watu walikuwa kama 20 walikuwa wanaendelea kuchimba maini, lakini 8 waliweza kuokolewa kwa haraka. Ikabaki watu kama wanaaminika kuwa ni kama watu 12. Mpaka saa hii bado tunaendelea kuona vile njia tutatumia ili tuweze kuwaokoa wale ambao wamefumaniwa ndani.
Lakini katika sehemu hii itakumbuka kwamba ni mzungu alikuwa anafanya hapa, so hatukuwa na habari ya kwamba kuna kazi inaendelea. So ndio tumeshtukia kumbe wamekuja wakafukua, alafu ndio hilo janga likatokea. Lakini katika sehemu nyingine huwa tuko na ukaguzi wa kila mara kwa mara kuhakikisha ya kwamba wachimbaji wako salama, wako na vifaa ambavyo vinafaa wakati wa kazi. Na tunawa pia kuwafunza kuhusu hadhari katika migodi.
Wachimbaji waliripoti kazini na kufikia hapo saa 10:30 tumekuwa na mchanga kuporomoka ndani ya shimo. Vile mnajua tunachimba kwa tunnel, so nyuma yao mchanga uliporomoka, na wakati hiyo ikifanyika tulikuwa na wachimbaji 20 shimoni.
We're definitely keeping tabs on the 2 survivors still trapped, and we'll bring you a detailed report in our subsequent bulletin. But elsewhere, the Malindi Environment and Land Court in Kilifi County has referred a petition seeking orders to stop the construction of a multi-million high-rise building in the Kaswarina area in the Kaswarina area of the region. National Environment Management Authority and the National Environment Tribunal NET Justice Mwangi Njoroge of Malindi Environment and Land Court, while issuing the ruling, however, said the petition would not be struck out of the court pending the determination by NEMA and NET. The petition, which was filed on the October 18th, 2024 by Rita Valentini, a resident in the area, accused Farid of unlawfully constructing a 3-story residential building in an area designated as a low-density residential zone with development policies of Kilifi County prohibiting the construction of high-rise apartments in the area. Very well, and that report from Malindi takes us to our first commercial break. But when we come back, we still have more news on the other side of the break. Break in a few, but before we do, residents of Gatimu Ward in Oljororok constituency in Nyandarua County are calling on the Kenya National Highways Authority KENHA to construct a pedestrian footpath beside the riverside bridge along the busy Nyahururu Ol Kalou Gilgil Road. The bridge, which offers a narrow pathway to pedestrians and school-going children on either side, is posing a danger on the busy highway. The residents now want the national and devolved units to expedite the redesigning of the bridge to avert further losses of lives in the area related to what they are calling the killer bridge.
Ndugu yangu alikufia hapa tu, hapa kwa hii bridge. Sasa tunaweza omba watutengenezee. Hadi tunaogopa kupita hapa. Juu kuna time gari inaweza kuja hii side, nyingine itokee na nyuma na uoni. Sasa inabidi unasimama pale, unaogoja zipite zote alafu unavuka.
Because for many years we have suffered, we have lost lives, we have had fatal accidents here, we have had serious injuries, and only because the designer of this highway never made it to construct a footpath.
Watu wakienda shule wanaanguka hapa kwa mtoni. Hata sisi wakubwa hatuna pahali ya kupitia. Hatuwezi pitia kwa barabara kwa sababu ya magari.
Elsewhere, women leaders in Homa Bay County have condemned the recent rise in homicide cases reported over the weekend, calling for urgent intervention to restore security in the region. Speaking on the matter, Suba North MP Millie Odhiambo emphasized the need for stronger measures to ensure justice for victims and deter future crimes. Homa Bay Women Representative Joyce Osogo echoed these concerns, urging the county commissioner and local leaders to work together in strengthening security.
I want to request, I want to demand, I want to inform, I want to remind the county commissioner and us as leadership of this county that we must take responsibility in ensuring that security is provided at the local level, at the sub-county level, and in all levels.
I would just want to call on the authorities. One, to arrest the perpetrators. Two, the call on the judiciary to hasten dealing with such cases so that people can know that whenever you do a crime or you commit a crime, there are consequences. But because there are lack of consequences, then people just go on happily committing crime.
Now, Ngare village in Samburu County is facing an increasing threat from wildlife, particularly elephants from the neighboring Kirisia forest. For several nights now, 3 elephants have been roaming the village, located approximately 7 kilometers from Maralal town, causing destruction and instilling fear among residents. Villagers are forced to stay awake at night to keep vigil. The community is calling on the Kenya Wildlife Service to take immediate action before the situation worsens.
The same one waliua juzi mtu hapa. Juzi neighborhood hapa Lake Solish fulani. Na hiyo ni hasara kubwa sana. There is no compensation for human life. So tunaomba sana KWS hata kama ni kuja kuleta hii fence ya stima hapa. Hao ndovu wakae contained pale kwa forest, wakae huko ndani kwa sababu the way we are operating now, very soon hata watakuja kuua mtu hapa tena. It was a very close shave even for last night. Even for my guy here mwenye tulikuwa na yeye tunakimbishana. Kidogo tu ndio tumepitana kidogo.
Wanatufahamia kama wakulima ndani ya shamba. Kama vile tumesimama hapa, kuna mambo mengi unayaona, si ya kufurahisha. Tumekuwa tukifanya kazi, tukitafuta school fees, tukitafuta chakula ya watoto wetu, lakini ndovu wametufinyilia chini sana.
In other news, the government has been challenged to revitalize and empower community policing programs such as the Nyumba Kumi initiative as a way of curbing the rising spate of abductions and other social vices in the country. Speaking in Nakuru, human rights defenders and clergy led by Pastor Harrison Karaoke of the Foundation of Prophet and Apostles Church of God said the move will help in availing relevant and credible information to authorities for prior actions to deter the rising vice.
Hata kama ni abduction inafanywa, mtu haezi kutoka mbali, haezi kutoka Mombasa akuje Nakuru kufanya abduction Nakuru kama hajui mtu wa Nakuru na Nakuru anaenda wapi. Lazima wale wako hapa grassroots wachunguze, wakiona kama kuna mgeni wapige Nyumba Kumi, wapige ripoti kwa sub chief na chief, naye chief atajua zile hatua zingine atafanya nini, atachukua. Yule mgeni achunguzwe ametoka wapi na ni nini yako naye na anakaa kwa nani, walikuja pale na nani ama wanahusikana na nani.
Zile community policing committee zile ziko countrywide zinastahili katika muda wa siku 21 zikuwe zimetoa ripoti zao ambazo wameweza kurekod katika minute zao, kwa sababu wako na machairman katika kila cluster.
Tungemuomba rais wetu aangalie hawa viongozi juu yeye ndiye kichwa ya wote, ndio haya mambo yakome.
Students of Njue First University, together with their residents of Hilo area in Kwanza constituency, Trans Nzoia County, have lamented the halting of construction of the university's main building. The irate students said the continued delay in implementing the project was affecting their studies. They are calling on the government to resolve the issue.
Tunasikia uchungu sana wakati mradi unasimama, tukijaribu kufuatilia, ukiuliza unaambiwa ya kwamba hii ni ya national government. Na vile inakuwa ya national government, nataka niulize ya kwamba mjumbe wetu, hii ni mradi ule ambao inafaa afuatilie.
Kama hii kitu itaendelea kusimama namna hii, maana kuna wanafunzi sasa wamerendi nyumba hapa, walikuja wakijua kwamba wataanza admission hapa January. Na mpaka leo wako kwa nyumba za watu hapa wanalipia na wana fedha, maana wanatoka kwa familia maskini.
This building ilifaa this year ifunguliwe. So mimi natoka hapa naenda Kitale on a daily basis. I'm spending more. So mimi kama mwanafunzi nilikuwa nataka tukujua what's happening, because this building ilifaa kuisha by the last year December. Till today the same building ijamalizwa, ijawekwa mabati. I'm wondering.
The county government of Machakos has opened a level 3 medical facility domiciled at the Machakos level 5 hospital in a move that is aimed at improving efficiency and service delivery in the healthcare system. Machakos County Governor Wavinya Ndeti said the facility aims to decongest the main hospital, allowing medical professionals to focus on more complex cases requiring specialized care. Ndeti noted delays in the social health authority system, leading to occasional paralysis of patient clearance. She said there is need to fast-track a system integrated between the county government system and the national SHA administration system to enhance efficiency.
Tukiintegrate itakuwa vizuri sana, kuwa kama hawa wanalipiwa na SHA. Nikiingia kwa system yangu ya county, kama wale wa Reno, tukiintegrate vizuri, ninaangalia, ninaona ni wangapi walitibiwa, wale wako kwa ward wako na issues za kidney, na wale pia wanafanya dialysis nje. Kwa hivyo kuna mambo hapa tunataka kutune kidogo kama Machakos County, na ya kwanza ni kuhakikisha level 5 is only referrals.
The residents of Letein in Bureti Sub-County, Kericho County, have appealed to the government to find a lasting solution to the water shortage experienced in the area. The residents said for years they have been forced to depend on donkeys who supply water from a nearby river, while others have resorted to pumping their own water. Area business people added that the water crisis has affected their businesses as they are forced to buy water on a daily basis.
Only Chain tumeteseka sana kwa muda ya maji. Hatuna maji kabisa hapa town. Hapa town tumeteseka, tunakunywa maji ya punda.
Town. Karne ya 21 bado tunatumia wanyama. Ambayo mnyama nayo tunatumia ni punda. Ukiona mali ambayo tunaleta haya maji ni kwa swamp.
We were promised that there is a project that was going to be funded by World Bank. That it was during the time of campaign from a place called Kobop. And that water was supposed to pump water up to a place called Chemuiben. Then the water was supposed to be flowing to Litein town. Up to now, we have not had that.
Tena pia maji hakuna Litein. Tunaomba maji yakuje.
Very well, at about 1/2 the hour, we are now due for our break. But when we come back, I'll run you through more stories, including business and sports.
Simfungulie huyu. Ati? Nimesema sifunguliwe huyu. Sasa basi nakupa ruksa. Nenda ukaishi huko.
Toroka. Rudi mafichoni Kalume utakuja shikwa.
Usinikumbushe Sudi.
Nini mpenzi?
Wewe ukitaka kujua mtu mzima na meno 32 nitetee na mpenzi.
Kini?
Hakuna cha lakini. Nilikuwepo sikuambiwa. Habarisha wanakisiwa wote kwamba yeyote atakayeniletea taarifa za aliko Kalume nitampatia donge nono. Hebu toka nje. Toa ama nikumalize. Simama hapo. Nataka uambie hawa watu lile jambo ulikuja kusema hapa jana usiku.
Client still hopes to have a young director, so I strongly recommended you to our boss.
Is this your home? You don't know where to put anything. You can't find this or that. Am I your maid?
Jin Bing. Oh, she shot so many ads. Wow. Won many awards.
You just told me this morning and I forgot.
I strongly recommended you to my boss. Now she wants to meet you, but it's only available this afternoon.
How can this be called hasty? It shows your company is efficient. We can only hope to meet more clients like you.
Welcome back. You're still watching KBC Lunchtime News. Moving on, fall prey to divisive politics. Take that again. The leadership of the Orthodox churches in the country is urging young people not to fall prey to divisive politics, but unite for a cause that can create meaningful change in the society and the country. Speaking in Nairobi while marking World Orthodox Day, Orthodox Archbishop Andreas Makarios noted that so far the youth have proven to be a voice of change in the country. The Orthodox Archbishop said young people can play a big role in bridging divides, especially those of tribal lines.
Together, as we have seen, all of us are together, and as I said in my speech, they are not the future, but they are also the present of today, and we need them. We need very much to embrace them, and they themselves, they will teach us because of their open minds.
We are training young East African leaders to make something impactful in their communities, pick a common problem in our society and address it. For example, the Impacting East Africa project for Kenya is, curbing harmful cultural practices, and that is what we are sensitizing young people to do.
Time to tilt the focus to matters business. Rental yield stood at 7.2% in Nairobi suburbs in 2024. That is according to the latest Has Consult Property Index. The strong annual growth is fueled by increasing availability of multi-dwellers units such as apartments. This is supported by VAL Real Estate CEO Abdul Mesid Sadetin, who says the average rental yield in Nairobi's Kilimani has risen by 10.1% compared to overall market of 8.2%. Sadetin says there's increasing need for modern apartments within Nairobi.
Eyes in front.
I think the market now is picking up, and we feel that market, especially in Kenya, we operate. We have 3 other branches in Africa. We have in Uganda, we have in Ghana. Kenya now is performing perfectly, and we also invite. It's a good opportunity to invite all the investors, the foreign investor outside Kenya, to come and put more investment. We have 8 years now experience to invest in Kenya. We are very happy. The country is very safe.
Now, the Kenyan National Chamber of Commerce and Industry Nairobi chapter has entered into a partnership with Japanese packaging solutions company Ishida Limited to support local small and medium enterprises in food industry. The support comprises provision of packaging solutions for use by small and medium enterprises involved in the food and horticulture export business. Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry Nairobi chapter chair James Mwaura challenged local, small and medium enterprises to explore strategic deals with multinationals to benefit from enhanced market and capital.
Kenya, of late, most of our business is out of the country. That means we need proper packaging, as expected, especially if you're going to the Europe market. The packaging they expect is, that brings that new market.
So Mr. Ishida will be traveling here a lot. He loves Africa. But our plan is to grow employment through our business and then to diversify our products. So we will start looking at who can build ancillary equipment, perhaps who is in industry that manufactures or engineers. That is one way that we can help build the economy, is to get suppliers to us locally.
Moving on, 320 food containers have been confiscated at the Port Police in Mombasa County after they were intercepted aboard a ship destined for China 2 weeks ago. According to the Coastal Regional Mining Officer Paul Karue, the exporter had disguised the declaration of the 75 metric tons of minerals as manganese, yet after investigations it was discovered to be copper ore. The regional mining officer disclosed that investigations are ongoing and no arrests have been made yet.
Some 3 containers were intercepted some 2 weeks ago on suspicion of mineral smuggling. At the moment, investigations are still going on because with their declaration that they are exporting manganese, they have already declared that, stated that they were coming from Kilifi. Now that we have found out that it is not manganese, it is copper, investigations now are going to go further and find out where they were mined. Manganese is low value compared to copper, and probably the owner doesn't have the requisite document for exporting copper. So he uses the document for exporting manganese to export copper, which is a high value mineral. and copper being a strategic mineral, the only entity to export copper is National Mining Corporation. Arrests are going to be made because the matter is with the DCI, Mining Police Investigation Unit.
Very well. Away from matters business, we are keeping tabs with the president's tour of the northern frontier and especially northern counties of the country. And we are now joined from that live feed. He is in Mandera. Let's first of all listen in.
Ya mifugo yao ambayo itawapatia maziwa na iwapatie nyama ndio tuweze kuweka pesa kwa mfuko ya wafugaji. Jambo la pili, tumesema vile vile katika ile mpango yetu ni tuhakikishe ya kwamba mambo ya magonjwa ya ng'ombe zetu, magonjwa ya mbuzi na kondoo, ni lazima tuweke mpango ya serikali ya kuondoa haya magonjwa ndio tuweze kupata soko ya sawasawa ya kuuza nyama yetu ya ng'ombe, ya mbuzi, ya ngamia na hata ya kondoo. Tumeelewana jameni? Sikizeni wafugaji. Tumesema ya kwamba tutavaccinate, tutachanja, tutapatia chanjo ng'ombe zetu milioni 22 na small stock mbuzi na kondoo milioni 55, ndio tuweze kuondoa magonjwa, ndio tuweze kuhakikisha ya kwamba ng'ombe yetu maziwa yake, nyama yake inapata soko ya kitaifa na soko ya kimataifa. Muliniona juzi nikiwa UAE, na kule UAE tumepata soko ya nyama zetu, na hiyo nyama haiwezi kwenda huko kama iko na ugonjwa. Na ndio sababu hiyo hapa Mandera tuko tayari, na mimi nashukuru county government ya Mandera kwa kukubali ya kwamba tushirikiane na viongozi wote wa Mandera ili tuweze kuhakikisha kwamba tunaondoa magonjwa kwa mifugo yetu ndio tuweze kutengeneza soko ya sawasawa. And we are going to continue with that process. Tumeelewana jameni? Jambo la tano, mimi vile vile nataka niwaambie hivi. Wafugaji wengi kwa sababu ya jilali na kiangazi walipoteza mifugo yao, na ndio sababu hiyo tumeweka mpango ya serikali, tumetumia bilioni 1 kuweka restocking ya familia 10,000 hapa Northern Kenya, na tuhakikishe ya kwamba wanapata mifugo 53,000 kwa familia 10,000 as part of our restocking process, so that the families that were affected by drought and lost their livestock, we are going to support 10,000 families, among them families in this Wajir, in this Mandera, almost 1,000 families with stocks, so that they can begin their lives and they can also begin the journey for the restocking of the livestock. Tumekubaliana jameni? Vile vile mimi nataka niwahakikishie nyinyi wangwana wa hapa Mandera ya kwamba ile ubaguzi ambayo imeendelea Kenya hii kwa miaka 60, ati mtoto wa Mandera, ati mtoto wa Wajir ama Garissa ama Tana River, ati akienda kutafuta kitambulisho anaulizwa maswali kuzidi ile wamama wanaulizwa huko kwa maternity. Hiyo maneno tumesema itakoma, na kesho mimi naweka sahihi kuondoa kabisa ile ubaguzi ya vetting ambayo watoto wa hapa walikuwa wanaangaishwa nayo, ili mtoto wa Kenya ahesabike kwamba ni mtoto wa Kenya bila ya kujali anatoka jamii gani, kwa sababu sote ni sawa mbele ya katiba ya Kenya na sote ni wa Kenya, hakuna mmoja wa kuzidi mwenzake. Tumeelewana jameni? Tuko pamoja? Tumeelewana? Mnasema tuendelee ama tuendelee? Mnasema tuendelee ama tuendelee? Vile vile nyinyi mumeniuliza kwamba pia kuwe na passport office katika Northern Kenya. Hapo Alhamisi naenda kufungua ile passport office ambayo ilikuwa imefungwa kwa sababu hiyo ni mambo ambayo ni ya ubaguzi. There must be equal access for all citizens of Kenya for all government services. Na hiyo tunataka tuhakikisha kwamba tunatembea pamoja hiyo safari. Watu wa Mandera tumekubaliana jameni. Kuna mambo viongozi wenu wameniuliza. Kuna maneno mumeniuliza ya kwamba hapa Mandera, na nimekubali. Hapa Mandera hakuna haja ya kwenda kutafuta grid kutoka kule Garissa. Grid ya hapa Mandera tutatoa hapa Ethiopia. Na mimi nataka niwahakikishia kwamba kuna mazungumzo tayari na hiyo mpango iko katika taratibu ya serikali, and shortly we are going to connect power on grid in Mandera from our brothers here in Ethiopia. Pia niwaeleze ya kwamba kilimo ni ya muhimu. Mimi mwenyewe nikiwa waziri wa kilimo nilikuja hapa kwa maneno ya river dawa hii. Na mimi nataka niwahakikishie we are going to work with the county government, with the members of parliament to make sure that we unlock the agricultural potential that exists from river dawa by making sure that we support our farming communities, whether it is to do with irrigation and all the other infrastructure. And I want to tell the leaders of this county to work with me so that we can unlock that potential, so that we can also feed this county of Mandera bila ya kwenda kutafuta chakula kutoka mahali pengine. Jambo la mwisho, mimi nataka niwaambie vile vile ya kwamba vile governor amesema hii kiwanja, mimi nitaangalia vile tutapanga hii kiwanja vizuri. Na nitaambia watu wa sports fund wakuje hapa waangalie, ndio tuweze kupangana pamoja na nyinyi, ndio hii kiwanja ikae chonjo kama viwanja zingine. Sawa sawa. Vile vile hapa katika shule yenu, na mimi nataka niwapongeze. I must say this. Sikizeni nyinyi watu wa Mandera.
Yes, you joined us. That has been President William Ruto on his development tour in Mandera, and allow me just to quickly run through some of the things that he has mentioned in regards to he will be opening a passport office in Mandera on Thursday. Also, he talks about the livestock vaccination program, and he has urged locals to ensure that they vaccinate their livestock when that government project begins, because we have gotten a market from the United Arab Emirates. And last but not least, 1 billion shillings for compensation to ensure that farmers who lost their livestock, and especially during the drought last year, are compensated. More of this in our subsequent bulletin. Let's now shift gears to matters sports, where the Kenya Lionesses lost their opening match to Uganda as the FIBA Women's Afro Basketball Zone 5 qualifiers got underway in Cairo, Egypt. Uganda Gazelles, who qualified further afield, Chelsea came from behind to beat West Ham 2 goals to 1 and returned to the top 4 in the English Premier League last night. Player of the match, Jarrod Bowen, who had breached before Aaron Wan-Bissaka, scored an own goal to give the host the winning goal in the 74th minute. The win saw Chelsea climb from 6th to 4th place on the log with 43 points, 4 adrift of third-placed Nottingham Forest. Very well. And that report from England takes us to the tail end of this broadcast. Many thanks indeed for joining us. More news at 4, 7, and 9. My name is Njue. Anne Wangeshi has been my colleague on the sign language interpretation. Do have yourself a blessed afternoon.
Are you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with your music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
Simfungulie huyu. Ati? Nimesema sifunguliwe huyu. Sasa basi nakupa ruksa. Nenda ukaishi huko.
Toroka. Rudi mafichoni Kalume utakuja shikwa.
Wewe usinikumbushe Sudi.
Nini mpenzi?
Wewe ukitaka kujua mtu mzima na meno 32 nitetee na mpenzi.
Kini?
Hakuna cha lakini. Nilikuwepo sikwambiwa.
Habarisha wanakisiwa wote kwamba yeyote atakayeniletea taarifa za aliko Kalume nitampatia donge nono.
Hebu toka nje. Toa ama nikumalize. Simama hapo.
Nataka uambie hawa watu lile jambo ulikuja kusema hapa jana usiku.